Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another new mini-series that we'll be doing throughout the season. It is, of course, predicting the scorelines for each game week of the Premier League. I feel like it's an easy one to kind of grasp. Basically, we're going to go through each match of the Premier League and we're going to end up predicting the scorelines as they go. In the background, I'll have the Man United Wolves game on. I'll be putting the Man United game on that we have on this specific match day for each game in the background because I'm a Man United fan, might as well have the Man United game on. So we'll load into that. But then I'm going to be talking about basically the game week 1 predictions. Initially, it was meant to be career mode today, but ultimately it's not been able to be done because I've been called into work at 3:30 and it's already 2:15. So I won't have anywhere near enough time to do a career mode episode, which was the plan today, but unfortunately, plans have changed, and it's the way she goes. So, while this game goes on in the background, I'm going to be finding where I wrote these down, because I wrote these down, and I don't remember where, so bear with me. Just the record, whatever happens on game, that's not necessarily the scoreline I'm going to be predicting for the Man United match. So make that clear. But let's take a look here. Where is it? Where did I literally... Oh, there we go. Blind. Found them. So, obviously, the first game... I'm doing it in order of what it is on this website that I've put the scorelines into, by the way, just for the record as well. So, for the first game... Actually, this might be easier to do this. Just bear with me. Again, bear with me times 2. Can I not split screen this with this? Oh, there we go. Right, sweet. Sorted. So, basically, welcome to the predictions once again. So, for each game, I'm going to predict the scoreline. Whether I get it wrong or right is just, I guess, a matter of... I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, so this is the scoreline. I'm going to be... Well, this is already gone incorrect here on the actual sim in the background. So the first game that's going to happen of the Premier League season, it'll happen tonight. It is going to be Burnley versus Manchester City. So I've got a good feeling about Burnley. I feel like they'll have a good season, but they've been given the worst signing, or not the worst signing, I should say, the worst start to the season. I can't speak. It's too warm to even think at the moment. It's absolutely boiling at the moment, and I'm honestly just watching the game in the background as well. We're down 1-0 to Wolves. But anyway, back on topic, Burnley versus Manchester City. I think it's going to be a struggle for Burnley because even though they've got the new signings, it's Manchester City. They've just come off the back of winning the treble. Granted, they've lost the Community Shield recently to Arsenal on penalties, but the treble winners should win on their opening day here at Turf Moor. And I'm not predicting goal scorers because I'd probably lose my mind. I'd probably lose track as well. Yeah, Jordan's put up a good point in the chat here. Kompany's managing against City. For his first game back in the Premier League as a manager, it's a big one. And it's going to be against a club he holds near and dear to his heart, which would be interesting. So I don't see Burnley getting a point or anything. City are going to win. And I think it's going to be just a statement-making victory against one of the newly promoted teams. I think City will go all out to prove that they are, once again, going to be favourites for the Premier League title. I'm going to say 4-1 Manchester City because I feel like Burnley will put up a fight, but recently, I think last year as well, Burnley were torn apart by Manchester City in the Cup. And I think a similar thing is going to happen where Burnley, as much as I think they're going to have a good season, it won't be a great start. And I think City will just demolish them. Of course, if you want to leave your scoreline predictions in comments in chat as well, you're more than welcome to as I go through these. Up next then is Arsenal versus, well, on this list anyway, I don't know if it's up next in the actual time, like chronological order, but up next on this list is Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest. Now, Arsenal have made some fantastic signings. We covered them in the Premier League predictions. They've got in Declan Rice, who is an incredible DM. They've got Havertz, who might work under Arteta. He's a wild card, I guess, kind of. And then, besides somebody else, Timber, that was it. And he's been exceptional in pre-season. And Nottingham Forest, despite making some solid signings, they're probably in a relegation battle, if we're being blatantly honest. I don't know if they will get relegated. I've put them to not get relegated, but Nottingham Forest will definitely be in a bit of a struggle this season. Second season syndrome might hit harder than what we expect. So for Arsenal, I reckon they'll put in a good performance. They'll want to be in the title race, at least very much in the top 4 race. And I think it's going to be a first win of the season for Arsenal on the first day at the Emirates. I'm saying 3-1. I reckon Forest will get a goal. There'll be some lucky goal that they will just scrape in somehow. But Arsenal, I think, will have more than enough quality to dispatch a Forest to open on the first day for them. Jordan's saying 2-1 to Burnley with a late winner. I'd like that. I'd actually love that. Please. I'm blessing that into existence. Following that then, in the next game on the chronological order list will be Bournemouth versus West Ham United. Now, Bournemouth have had a fantastic window, honestly. They've sacked Gary O'Neill. They've brought in a new manager who I can't remember the name of just now, but he's got previous managing experience, definitely, and I think he will do a good job at Bournemouth steering them to safety. But West Ham will have a similar kind of goal because they'll want to improve in the Premier League, but also they've got Europa League football as well. So it's going to be a difficult one for the Hammers and for Bournemouth this season. It's just going to be... I think it's going to be they cancel each other out, and I'm going to say 1-1. I reckon Bournemouth take the lead, and then West Ham gets saved with an equaliser, in my opinion. But it's going to be a point each, which is probably the right result between those two teams, because they're probably going to be quite evenly matched throughout the season. I feel like that's about the right scoreline. I might be wrong on that. Obviously, it's a whole predictions thing. I can't say I might be wrong on it. Of course, I could be. Whether I will be is the whole point of the game. So, Ramsdale's going to have a stinker, but they'll win 3-1, it says Jordan. Bournemouth 2-1 West Ham, like Alvarez from Ajax, but don't think they've had enough, to be honest. At the moment, yeah, I have to agree. West Ham, with all the money they've gained from the Declan Rice sale, as well as potentially signing Paqueta, or selling Paqueta, I should say. What should I say? I can't fucking speak. Selling Paqueta. My brain is too fast for my mouth, it's ridiculous. But basically, if Paqueta goes as well, West Ham are in a bit of mud, but I reckon he probably doesn't go before this first game day, and he might get in the team. So I don't know really, but it might go Bournemouth's way. But I'm gonna hang on for a 1-1. I think that's probably a safe bet to go for a draw between two teams. For buying Maguire, I hope they win the league. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll pay them to take Maguire at this point. Up next, then, Brighton and the Hove Albion versus Luton Town. Of course, Brighton have had some big named departures, and another one in the news recently, Moises Caicedo. He's either going to end up at Liverpool or Chelsea for a lot more than he's worth, no offence to the lad. 110 million Liverpool have bid. That's ridiculous, quite frankly. That's more than Rice. That would be the British transfer record. But there's been a bit of an exodus from Brighton, and I feel like they'll struggle a little bit more this year than last year. But I still think they have enough to defeat Luton. I think it's going to be an easy victory. Luton will need to adjust the Premier League after a few games. Brighton are one of those teams who have been here for a while. So it's going to be absolutely fine for them, I think. And I'm going to say 2-0. João Pedro gets a goal in his debut, in my opinion, as well. I think there'll be another team that are going to be ones to watch again, Brighton. But with Europa League football, I think the pressure in the Premier League might tell a little bit too much. But I do think it is going to be a victory for Brighton on the opening day. Speaking of Brighton, I can't see my TV because the sun is shining right in and I cannot see a fucking thing. So I don't know what is happening on the screen right now. Jordan's saying Brighton 49, Luton 0. It's a bold one. It could happen. Following that then is Everton versus Fulham at Goodison Park. Two teams that I think personally, and this might be a bit mean to say out the gate, but might be involved in the relegation battle this year, and it's going to be a 3-pointer right out, or a 6-pointer I should say, right out the gate. Before we get into that, I will go into the second half here. On the simulation, we're 1-0 down. I bloody hope this isn't the case in real life. I don't think it will be somehow. We'll get to that game. Well, it'll be the last game that we get to be honest. But we'll cover Everton Fulham in a second. Bloody 1-0 down in the simulation. This is not what we wanted. Right. Let's get to the second half. And Everton versus Fulham. Then, like I said, a relegation 6-pointer. Both teams haven't really strengthened. I think both teams have regressed, to be honest. Both teams have lost more than they've gained. through this transfer window, so I don't think it's going to be that good of a game. But that being said, I do think Fulham still have a little bit more quality. They brought in Jimenez. I don't know how good he's going to be under Marco Silva at Fulham. They still have Mitrovic. Whether he gets used, whether he gets played is a different matter because he does really want to leave. But they've got options. They've got a bit more of an Everton, I feel. And so for Fulham versus Everton, I'm going to say it's a 2-1 win to Fulham. Anthony doing his best there, putting it wide. Should make death row and mates watch the Everton game. Fulham might be adding a Adama Traore and a free. Going to be bloody torture. I mean, Everton are looking at players as well. They signed this guy Chermiti, who I think he's a good young player. They're looking at other targets. It's just getting those other targets signed is going to be the issue. But I think Everton will struggle this season, as will Fulham. And I think Fulham will just show enough quality to find 3 points. Up next then, Sheffield United and Crystal Palace. I can zoom in on my scores because I can't really see them. There we go. Crystal Palace being hosted by newly promoted Sheffield United, back in the Premier League after a couple of years. Was it a year out or 2 years out? Either way, Sheffield United are back with around the same squad that they had the last time, besides maybe a few exceptions. They sold Ndiaye, of course, who was their top scorer last season. They sold Sander Berge to Burnley. They've not really done any business either, have Sheffield United, which is not what you really want. If you're a newly promoted Premier League team, you'll need to be getting the business done early and fast, and you'll need to be in the aim of staying up. Sheffield United are really going to struggle this season unless they make signings in these last 3 weeks. But Palace as well, they're going to be struggling as well. They've not made a lot of moves in the transfer window. They do have enough quality in the Premier League overall, I would say, to beat Sheffield United. I'm predicting a Crystal Palace win. And with Zaha going, though, that creative spark might go a little bit. They've still got Elise at the moment. They've still got Eze at the moment. That could all change. They've still got some young players who will perform for Crystal Palace, but it's just going to be a difficult one, in my opinion. So I'm going to go 2-0 to Crystal Palace, and it's going to be a poor start to Sheffield United season. I don't think they'll recover throughout the season. But at the moment, that's what I'm sticking with. I'll maybe change my mind on some of these. But that's kind of, well, not change my mind, obviously, but change my mind on Sheffield's fortunes. These score lines are locked in now. We're sticking with them. Anthony's equalised for Man United. You'd love to see it. We can still take the win here, boys. We can still take the win. Up next, then, is a battle between two teams who have got to be going at least for Europe, if not going for those Champions League places. I think it's going to be a very interesting top four race this year, and it's going to be between Newcastle United and Aston Villa. Now, these two teams played each other in pre-season, and it was a bloody hell of a game. I think it ended up being like a 3-3 draw or something, a goal fest, with both teams having very good attacking options. I mean, Aston Villa brought in Diaby, who is one of the best was one of the best wingers last season in the Bundesliga. They brought in Pau Torres to shore up that defence. They've done well in this window, in my opinion. Newcastle as well, though, they have the quality, and they brought in even more quality with Tonali coming in. They brought in the, I forgot his name from Southampton, Livramento. Jesus Christ. They brought in those two as well, so they've just been strengthening their teams to try and push for a Champions League spot. So I think with this one, I think it's going to be a score draw. I think there's going to be plenty of goals in it, but I don't think either team will cancel out the other. I'm saying 2-2 between Newcastle and Villa. I feel like that's about right, in my opinion. I could be wrong, obviously, but obviously I could be wrong about all of them. I just feel like it's going to be a goal fest, both two very attacking teams, and I think they're going to cancel each other out ultimately. What's up, Aiden? Welcome to the stream, mate. And George saying that'll be a cracker of a game. Villa wins 4-3. Another goal fest. Absolutely. I guess it's going to be another goal fest, but I think it's going to be a goal fest where they cancel each other out again. So following that will be Brentford versus Tottenham Hotspur. And with the news now coming, because it was back and forth, and we still don't really know 100%, but it's looking more likely that it leaves. Harry Kane going to be leaving Tottenham Hotspur to go to Bayern Munich, which means he probably won't be included in this first matchday squad. And I think because of that, they will struggle away from home at Brentford. Brentford have a very good home record. They're very solid at home as well. And even though they've lost Tony, Spurs have lost Kane. It's going to be an interesting one, and it's going to be a closer one than we thought that they would, well, I thought it would be initially. 1-1 between Brentford and Tottenham is what I'm thinking. I reckon Tottenham get ahead, and then late on, Brentford end up finding a late equaliser, and they take the points off of Spurs. And I don't want to write off Spurs completely, because they still might have a good season. They still might recruit well with the lack of Harry Kane. I still think that might be some more signings to come from Ange, especially with the Kane, the money. They could spread it about the squad. Levy could spread it about in positions that Spurs need. So I could be wrong down the line with some later on predictions. But at the moment, I don't see Spurs getting a point, like any more than 1 point here. I don't think they'll beat Brentford. They might even lose to Brentford, but I don't think they'll beat Brentford. I think it's going to be an early goal from, I don't know, Son or Kulishevsky, and then a late equaliser from Visser or something for Brentford. I did say I wasn't predicting goal scorers, but I feel like it might be the case where it's a late equaliser. Jesus Christ, Wolves at the crossbar. Lads, what's going on? I shouldn't really be paying attention to the game in the background, but I am. Jordan saying Brentford 2-1, Son will score, but they won't have any goals without Kane. See, I think the rest of the squad will step up eventually if they don't replace Kane. I think the rest of the squad will step up and start scoring. But at this first match day, when there's no real solution yet, I could probably agree that it won't be 3 points for Tottenham. Aiden's saying 3-0 Brentford as well, yeah. It's going to be good. I mean, the point's good for Brentford, but obviously 3 points would be even better. Up next then, second to last in these games of predictions, it is Chelsea versus Liverpool. A bit of a heavyweight clash to open the season, but also a bit of a clash where the teams who you thought would do well last season didn't end up doing as well as expected. So both teams will be looking to be getting the best start in this season. But in recent years, and well, just in the recent few games, definitely, there's not been a lot of goals in this one between Chelsea and Liverpool. They all seem to cancel each other out. Neither team seems to be able to get the better of the other, and it really seems to fuck them over, both ways, really. It doesn't seem to be like there's high stakes for a good start for both these teams to open the season, but I don't think that they're going to both have a good start to the season. I think it's going to be a point each, which I suppose is okay against each other, but neither team will win. I'm going for a 0-0 draw, just based off of previous. I think it's a smart move. I think it's a good move as well. Chelsea signings, I think, will settle in a bit more throughout the season, as will Liverpool's. But because both teams are still gelling, I don't see any goals in this one. It's going to be a 0-0 game there. Aiden saying 2-1 to Burnley over Manchester City. That's a big call. 0-0 between Chelsea and Liverpool. What's up, Tom? Welcome to the stream. It's only going to be a short one today while I predict these games. So it'll be done in about 5 minutes or so. But welcome anyway. And it'll be a class game, says Jordan. Chelsea 1-0. I'd love to see Chelsea win just because it means Liverpool lose. But honestly, there's a history of it being a 0-0 ball draw, and I think it will continue to be a 0-0 ball draw. Now, the final game, I've done the West Ham game. I predicted it's going to be a 1-1 draw against Bournemouth because Bournemouth have strengthened quite well. They'll be a dark horse this season, and West Ham still need to do some business before I'm convinced that they'll start winning those kind of matches. Sorry, Tom, if that's the wrong prediction, but that's what I'm thinking. But the final prediction then today, Manchester United versus Wolves. It's the game that's happening on the screen. Of course, I'm not going to be going along with the scoreline on the screen because I don't think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. That's what it looks like it's going to end as anyway. Wolves have not done enough business, or in fact any business. They've only signed Cunha on a permanent. That's a real main sign along with Matt Doherty. But I don't think they've got outright goals in them at the moment. And I don't think they've got enough quality with players leaving. Neves going to Saudi Arabia. Just a load of big names exiting. Adama Traore on a free agency as well. And I think it's going to be a solid opening game of the season. This is not what I think is going to happen on the screen, just for the record. I think it's going to be Manchester United that open the season with a victory. And even though we've got a lot of knocks, a lot of players missing, we've got no Martial, no Højlund, no Ahmad, a few injuries to open the season, I think we'll still have enough quality to be able to overcome Wolves. I still think it's going to be a 2-0 win to Manchester United. Wolves can't. The owners have stated that they need to make a profit season. Yeah, that's the problem. The money issues at Wolves. They can't be going left, right, centre, splashing cash. Which means I think they might go down. I think that's probably what they will do, in fact, actually. I think they will end up going down. But we're going to open the season. Manchester United, it's probably biased, but of course, at the same time, it's probably correct. I think we're going to open with a 2-0 win, sorry. My phone is glitched out. This is fun. Right, we're going to smash them. 4-1, Rice for brace, Mount goal, and Bruno score. Onana will get chipped from the halfway line again. They spent 61 million on 2 players and get 1 on a free transfer. Yeah, they've not done incredible business. They need to improve everywhere. They've got some players in, but they need to be spending, and I know they can't spend, but they need to improve this squad. And with the chances that they've got, I mean, if they can't spend and they can't improve the squad, they can't stay up. They're going to go down. And it's going to start with a Manchester United victory. So just to go over my predictions in case anyone missed any or anyone wants clarification. So for the first game, I'm saying Burnley 1, Manchester City 4, Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 1, Bournemouth 1, West Ham 1, Brighton 2, Luton 0, Everton 1, Fulham 2, Sheffield United 0, Palace 2, Newcastle 2, Aston Villa 2, Brentford 1, Tottenham 1, Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0, and Manchester United 2, Wolves 0. That game on screen was a better low-key. It did look like quite a good game. I just wish we'd won it on screen, obviously. 50 million in Cunha and 11 million in Traore, as well as bringing in Tom King on a free. Yeah, but the Cunha and Traore were players they already had on loan, and they didn't do incredible. They did good enough to keep Wolves up, but they didn't do incredible. And Tom King on a free, he's another bit of an unknown, but I'd like to see what he can do. As well as, of course, Matt Doherty coming back. He'll be some experience in that right wing-back role for Wolves. But at the same time, I just don't see them. I put them 19th in my predictions. I just don't see them staying up. I don't think they have enough up front. I could end up being proven wrong, and I'd be happy to be proven wrong because I don't mind Wolves, but I just don't see it happening for them to survive this season. But anyway, that's going to wrap up these Premier League Game Week 1 predictions. Whenever there's a Premier League Game Week going on, I will be here predicting the matches, of course. And in the background, of course, we'll have Manchester United versus whoever they're playing on that particular week. In the background, just kind of going around. Leeds are going to struggle. Nonto wants out. Melia could be leaving. Yeah, Leeds are going to be in a bit of mud. I think they've got enough quality to come back up, at least, or maybe not all the way back up, but at least playoffs. I'll put them in the playoffs this year. Nonto looks like he's going to go to Everton, which would be great for Everton. That would give him a bit more quality. Enjoyed that little stream. Have a great day, mate. Everyone else have a wonderful day. Much love. Come on, Burnley. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy your days. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. I've got to go to work in about an hour, so I'm going to get this uploaded. It'll be on the YouTube channel for 5 o'clock if you want to go back and watch the whole thing. And hopefully we shall see Man United win. And hopefully many of these results come to fruition. Of course, if you want to leave your results in the comments on the YouTube video as well, you're more than welcome to. And it would be good to see who gets them right and who gets them wrong. Leeds back down for another 16 years. That would be fantastic. I would love that. That would be incredible. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for now, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys have enjoyed these predictions. I'm hoping I'm correct on most of them. But I will see you as soon as I can. I've got a lot of work to do this weekend because of the music festival going on in the town this weekend. So I'll be working quite a few shifts this weekend. So I don't know when the next Hartlepool career mode will be. But I will try and get back on stream ASAP, and we will maybe talk again, maybe do something different. Hope you have a great day as well, Tom. I hope you guys all have a great day. Have a great weekend, and hopefully I won't be too hungover throughout the weekend as well. I will see you guys on the other side. Enjoy the rest of your weekends, and peace.